The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. The shepherds went in haste to Bethlehem and found Mary and Joseph and the infant lying in the manger. When they saw this, they made known the message that had been told them about this child. All who heard it were amazed by what had been told them by the shepherds. And Mary kept all these things, reflecting on them in her heart. Then the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen, just as it had been told to them. When 8 days were completed for his circumcision, he was named Jesus, the name given him by the angel before he was conceived in the womb. The Gospel of the Lord. Okay. Wonder if we have any kiddos watching. Maybe. Anyway, this is the children's homily. Okay, I want to show you someone. I stole this from the nativity set. Who is this? Who is that? She's a lady. She's dressed in blue. And she's praying. Who do you think that is? Very good. It's Mary, the Blessed Mother of God, which is what we're celebrating today. But how does God have a mother? And why do we call her mother if I already have a mother on earth? And if God is our Father? It's all kind of confusing, don't you think? Well, the main point is that we have an example of how to be a good mother and how to be a good father in heaven with God and Mary. And we have an example of how to be a good son or daughter with Mary and Jesus. Mary was a daughter of God, but she was also a mother of God. I think I'm just confusing you. Anyway, even though we have moms and dads here on earth, we have an example of how to live and how to be kind and loving to one another with Mary, with Jesus, all formed by God. So all these special people in our lives and in our saint lives, they give us an example and they help us to be holier. So that's why we call Mary the Mother of God. Okay, go back to your seats. I'm preaching from here and reading from the altar because the Word was made flesh, the Word of God. Why not just put it on the altar too? I also didn't feel like rolling today, rolling the cart. This is like the good old days, remember, back in March and, I don't know, Easter time, when this was every single day. So it kind of feels like the first day of school, getting into the rhythm of everything. So, we're doing this right now because I'm quarantining right now. I was exposed to some positive cases, which I feel fine and I'm doing well. And those individuals are as well, but just to be cautionary and keep everyone safe, so, and healthy. Anyway, today we celebrate, as I'm going to do my spiel now, this is a holy day of obligation. You are obligated to come to Mass or watch it on screen. You are just as obligated today to come and worship and take a Sabbath, basically make it a day of rest. That's the point. And it's a holiday too, so that makes sense. You are obligated to celebrate this day just as much as you are obligated to go to Mass every Sunday. You are obligated to go today and go on Sunday just as much as you are obligated to celebrate Christmas morning by opening presents with your family. You are just as obligated to come today, every Sunday, Christmas morning, as you are to eat turkey and stuffing with your family on Thanksgiving. These are called obligations because our very nature of being human and being community-based obligates us to participate. So it's not an obligation in the typical American, you can't tell me what to do, modern idea of obligation. It's a beautiful obligation saying, remember, you need to eat. Remember, you need to get nourishment and you need to get rest. So I, the Lord, am providing you an extra Sabbath. January 1st, today, Friday. It's a Sabbath, it's a holy day of rest, of, of, of rejoicing in the fact that we have freedom through Jesus Christ and through all the actions of the gospel, which involve Mary. That's why we celebrate her. We didn't just take over New Year's Day and just try to make it Catholic. I mean, it's the first day of the year. Why not celebrate it? So I don't know if the Solemnity of Mary, Mother of God came first, or if celebrating New Year's Eve came first, whatever. We celebrate her and we start off and consecrate the year, the coming year, to her. So onward, I think it's very, very important, no matter how many times you've heard what I just said, and how many times we've heard and talked about what Mary is and what Mary isn't. I think it's important for us Catholics to know and be able to say this and share this, not to angrily defend or be mad and fighting about it, but just Catholics don't worship Mary. We honor and revere her. We worship God, Jesus Christ, God the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit alone. We only worship that God, the triune God. We honor and revere Mary and St. Joseph and all the other saints and the apostles. Mary's just a little bit higher than all of them because, well, she was conceived without sin and she bore the Lord. All the saints, it's just like having your relatives' photos, whether they're dead or alive, on your mantelpiece or on your wall at home. It's a reminder of that we love them and they had an influence on us. And another thing, why should death end or stop friendship and love? That's what's cool about what's called the communion of saints, is that my friend, Father Ryan, who lives in Joliet, he's alive and he prays for me and I talk to him. And then also my friend Saint Therese of Lisieux, who's dead, who's in heaven. I talk to her and she prays for me. Why should death keep us Christians apart? I think that's that Catholic belief in the communion of saints is a very, very Christian thing. Also, Mary is elevated because she is the mother of God. We ask her to intercede for us, just like all the saints do. But the special thing about the Queen Mother is in the Old Testament, there was the court, the king's court and everything, and the mother, the queen's mother would sit on the side of the throne. People would come and petition the king for things and say, we need this, we need that. And sometimes he would say no. Very rarely would he say yes. But when they asked the queen, and she went to him and bent his ear, he had to do it, she said, because she's the queen. She's his mom. So not that Jesus is a hard and ungiving king or judge. Well, he is a judge. He's my judge. But not that he's like hard and won't listen to us. But it's just even more so that, of course, when we ask Mary for intercession, it helps us form our prayer through her mercy, through her grace and her peace and her patience. It helps us change our prayer even more to be something that will be in line with Jesus' heart. Jesus can't say no to his mother. And we, with Mary's help and example, can help be formed into the things that Jesus wants us to be. Okay, moving on to Mary is called the Theotokos, which is a Greek word for God-bearer. And if you look at either the YouTube video before this or this current one, the thumbnail I picked was an icon of the Blessed Virgin Mary holding Jesus. Now, the thing about icons is you might not like them or might not find them appealing. That's fine. It's up to you. I think they're absolutely beautiful because icons are a specific type of Eastern way of making an image. An icon technically is an image of a spiritual reality, a visual, physical symbol of a spiritual reality. So that's why in some of them you might see Jesus is looking up at his mother and his head is tilted. Looks like his neck is broken. Or maybe someone is super extra skinny, or maybe they have a little bit bigger eyes. You might think that's creepy and weird and that's not realistic. Well, icons are not supposed to be realistic in our sense of the word. They are showing the spiritual realities of God. So actually, fun fact, look up some, Google some, not now, we're in church, afterward. Look up some of baby Jesus or different types of themes you can see. If Jesus is being held by Joseph or Mary, sometimes he'll have one shoe on and one shoe off, or one shoe falling off. Or his cloak will have two colors in it, like a red and a blue. Or maybe one eye will be a little bigger than the other. This double thing is to show that he had two natures, human and divine. He was God and man in one. And so they represent that with the shoe being on, representing that he's on earth, and that he was also from heaven with the shoe being off. So just kind of look for that kind of stuff. An icon is a physical, visual representation of a spiritual reality. It's like a window into God's reality, not our reality, because our reality is created. An icon is a window in to God's reality. So, therefore, what is the greatest icon? The greatest visual example of the reality of God. No, it's not a painting or a specific written icon. It's Jesus Christ, the man, not this cross. This is an icon of Jesus. Well, it's a piece of art of Jesus. Jesus himself is the perfect icon because it's a visual, physical example, window into God's reality. Therefore, Mary, the one who carried and brought forth and provided the flesh and the womb for that icon, must also be pretty important, right? So, therefore, an icon of Mary and the icon is the icon of the icon, the greatest of all icons. So the greatest icon, other than Jesus, is an icon of the icon bearer holding the icon. So an icon of Jesus being held by Mary is the greatest icon. Icon, icon, icon. Can I say that word anymore? So have fun praying with that. Have fun looking up different icons. ICON is how it's spelled. And Theotokos is Greek for God-bearer. Mary is the God-bearer. I'm going to check that real quick. Did I get that right? I think so. I just told you not to Google things during Mass, but hey. Mother of God, God-bearer. Yeah, that'll work. Dei Genitrix. Mother of God, God-bearer. Okay, get off computer. So Mary is the bearer of God, the icon of God, Jesus Christ. And an icon, an image of Mary holding Jesus, is the greatest of all icons. Once again, we don't worship Mary. We ask her for intercession. We know she's our friend. She's our mother. Because Jesus on the cross said, "This is your mother now." He gives Mary over to John. And John means us, his beloveds. So she's our mother too, and she wants to help us be better children, helps me be a better child, and helps mothers be better mothers, and helps me be a better parent. I am both parent, I am father, and I am also son of God and brother. It's all overlap. Mary also had the best vocation. She got to be a virgin. She got to be a wife. She got to be a mother. And she got to be single life afterward. Anyway, the greatest graces of all the vocations were wrapped up in one, where all of us only get one. So, pretty cool. All right, please stand for the creed.